things you need to know about this iPhone XS Max review. Number 1, I'm Joanna Stern. I've got fairly small hands, and I don't love large phones. I'm also 5'6", and a Wall Street Journal tech columnist. Number 2, this is George Marichon, and he's got, well, bigger hands, and loves bigger phones. He's 7'7", and holds the record for the tallest player in the history of the NBA. You also may recognize him from the greatest movie of all time, My Giant.
So, what does this have to do with an iPhone?
Yeah, what I'm doing here?
I'm not really sure, actually.
The bigger iPhone XS Max has a giant 6.5-inch screen, a giant battery, and yes, a giant price tag. It's basically the George Marichon of phones, which actually would have been a better name for the phone. Yeah, the new iPhone doesn't look that big in his hands. Just look at how much hand he has left there. But in mine, it looks, well, Max. I've got no hands. And if you decide to go big, is there any real benefit over the XS, which is nearly identical but smaller? George has been helping me test to find out.
Hey Siri, what do you know about George Marichon?
Here is what I found.
Oh, that is the wrong guy.
The most impressive thing about the design of the Max is that big, beautiful OLED display. It stretches to the edges, so there's no big frame like you had with those older 5.5-inch iPhone Plus models. It means more screen in the same size package as one of those phones. Everything from playing games to taking photos is more immersive. But with the Max, it's much harder, for me at least, to reach things on the other side of the screen one-handed. See, if I want to reach for this weather app up here, the struggle is real. It's sort of like this.
Yeah.
For George, on the other hand, it's a simple tap. One-handed typing is also hard for me. Apple does have this feature that shifts the screen down by swiping on the line here. Samsung's Galaxy Note 9 with a similar 6.4-inch screen at least takes advantage of the extra space. With the Note 9, you can put apps side by side, or shrink down a video and watch it while you do something else. The iPhone has none of that. If there's one reason to go big, though, it's battery life. Just like George has got longer arms, the XS Max has a longer battery life than the XS.
Try harder, a little bit harder.
In my tests, the XS Max lasted at least an hour longer during the day. I didn't worry about my phone dying by evening nearly as much as I do with my 10. In my streaming video test, the XS Max lasted nearly 13 hours. The XS lasted 10 and a half. Both the XS and the XS Max have the same improved cameras and camera features. I shot around with George to test them. My favorite improvement is the ability to adjust the focus depth after taking a photo in portrait mode. See here, the ball is in focus, but George is not.
Oh, how you make it like that?
But by adjusting the f-stop, I can bring him into focus if I want.
This is a smartphone.
The new Smart HDR really does show when taking shots with movement or in some more complex lighting situations.
That's a good shot. Bang!
It's better than the 10, but not worth upgrading for, that's for sure. Where I really see the improvement over the 10, however, is in the speed of the autofocus and even launching the camera. So you don't miss shots like this. So, do you go XS Max? Well, put your hand up to mine, or to the screen. Is your hand bigger than this? But okay, maybe still smaller than this? Sure, then go for it.
Hey Siri, should I buy this phone?
I'm afraid I don't know what you should do.
Oh, come on Siri.